try.
So she says. Oh, we're live?
Oh, we're live. Hi. Happy Monday. Oh gosh, hold on. I always like to pull up to see you guys if you're talking to us because I can't always see who's joining. But if I go into it, I have to turn. Okay, there we go. That's how it works.
Hello, guys.
Hi, everyone. So we wanted to dive into the dating pool with you all again. So fun.
Part 2.
And so last time, we got had some conversations, had a few questions and ideas on what to explore dating more, because it's something that well, I think especially in this time right now with COVID, it's like you can't just go out and meet people. So online dating is really the resource. It's the resource to use. And we have some different experiences, wants, needs, desires, and how we use online dating. And so, yeah, wanting to speak to that also because we have two different ways of
viewing.
And being in a relationship, and we're from a perspective of being queer, from a perspective of being straight, and straight, and how to use those, like how you dive into the dating space and having different needs and stuff like that. So just thought we'd open a conversation. Thanks for joining us today. For those of you who joined us, drop us some hearts.
Hi so we know who it is.
Yeah, we always like to see you, and sending you all some huge hugs. Hopefully you're having a great day to the start of your week. So yeah, let's just dive right on in. When it comes to dating, one of the first things was about managing expectations. So I was in this this group that I run, where we had a conversation, we talked a lot about self-love and dating and the relationship you want, stuff like that. And so in this piece around expectations was really huge, because you can go into dating and you have all these expectations, and what if they don't work out, or what if you have high expectations and you're operating from this place that's not being reciprocated, and then oftentimes what I would hear back is like the feeling of like failure or things not working out, right? And for me, I like, from my own experience, because this one's like, talk about yourself, Sarah. My own experience is like, when it comes to expectations, I realize I'm just more curious. And I think curiosity is, and I actually had a conversation this morning with someone about curiosity. I'm always just diving into curiosity. Is like just being curious. Like and the problem is like, I don't think I've ever quite had an intention. I'm just sort of like, yeah, I'll be curious to like meet and explore other people and see what that's like, and if something unfolds. And what I'm coming to see for myself is like, let go of expectations, but set an intention. I think intention is really good. And we're going to talk a little bit about intention. But in managing expectations, we mentioned too in our last video about like when you get overly invested, like you're constantly swiping and scrolling and constantly looking and constantly, and that becomes your life. It's like, that doesn't, one, that's not fulfilling or satisfying, and comes from such a level of like FOMO, like it's like scarcity, missing, want, like afraid to miss out on something. And all I know is when it comes to the love area, love is meant for you. There's no missing out. So if it's not this one, then that's because there's something else, or there's more to look at and more to explore, but it's just like, it's not this, you just got to keep moving. So managing expectations, I think, is a big one. What do you think about expectations and dating?
So what I think, first of all, is like knowing what you're expecting.
Yeah.
What is it that you're expecting from dating? You know, it can be online, it can be outside online dating, it can be, you know, whoever you have in mind, maybe a person that you want to date, or what is the expectations that you have from that person, or the expectations that you're wanting from that outcome of getting to know this person, right? Like, I can only talk for me because I know me. So I dated, I have been on online dating like on and off. So, but I have learned not to expect anything from online dating. I know that at the beginning, sometimes when you find, you know, this, like I was sharing with Sarita, you know, that I was talking to this guy not too long ago, and we had a lot of things in common. We were texting back and forth. And one thing that attracted me to his profile was that he said, why can people communicate anymore, which is the only way to connect to others, right? And the way and how to know what things that are compatible from each other, and if we're like-minded, or, you know, that's how you get to know that person.
Mm-hmm.
So we were texting fine and everything. Next thing you know, he ghosts me. So he disappeared. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck? What just happened? Like, I thought it was a good, you know, a good connection. I thought it was like the thing that we both wanted was communication. We were communicating and stuff. But if I was expecting anything from that, I think I would have been feeling rejected,
Right.
abandoned, like starting to question myself. What's wrong with me? Why can I get anybody to engage with me?
Right.
Or why can I get anybody to connect with me at the level that I'm being open and vulnerable to this person? And then that person is showing the same thing, but next thing you know, he's out of the picture. Like, he just ghosted the communication.
Mm-hmm.
He just left, right? So really going on dating, I would really recommend not to expect anything, because you don't want to be hurt. And not only that, you really need to connect to yourself and be like, what am I expecting?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm expecting anything from that person to give me, then I'm not ready to date.
Mm-hmm.
Just because everything that you need that person to give you, you need to give yourself. So it's really about, to me anyways, is being open and ask the proper questions, and really look at their profile, you know, read at their profile.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're telling you everything there. And sometimes I know I did that once or twice, where I just see the picture and I'm like, oh my God, he's handsome. Oh my God, he's cute. Oh, you know. And then I start writing, and then next thing I go back to the profile and I'm like, oh, never mind, we're not gonna connect. So
Yeah.
you know, I don't ghost people, but I'm very honest and forward, you know, so straightforward. So I just say it.
Yeah.
So expectations can be hurtful. So be
Yeah.
careful. Yeah.
They get in the way. And I think those expectations are set around, and what you're talking about is rejection, right? Like, you can feel rejected if you do get ghosted, or you have a connection with someone and it breaks down, or goes to the wayside, and it feels like out of left field, right? There's that carrying of rejection, and it's what I realize is important to understand is that, you know, everybody's just like, we talk often about doing the work, right? And what it means to do the work. And when you're doing the work, it requires you to get really honest about yourself and about what you want, and having a deeper understanding and awareness of yourself, and the places and spaces that you want to grow into, and it doing the work. So much of that is being vulnerable and being open, and a lot of people look for ways to distract themselves rather than doing the work. And people are operating from where they are within themselves, and people can get into a relationship, or they might get into dating and be like, all right, I think I want a relationship, or I think I want to date. You go down this path, and then they realize, oh, I don't. And then they're out, right? Or they can't do that vulnerability if you're a person who's like, hey, I really want a relationship, and I'm a vulnerable person, and I like emotional intimacy, So when you're managing your expectations, so much of that is about having yourself, like having your own back, ensuring that you know how to take care of yourself and your needs, right? And you're not invested in an outcome, but again, like I say about being curious, having a curiosity about people, wanting to get to know people, and when you can let go of those expectations, you really can help yourself from feeling a sense of rejection. And rejection is just, it's something that we all have to face and deal with in life, right?
Especially when you're dating.
Especially when you're dating. But the rejection, what I recognize is you don't have to see it as rejection, because it's never about you. It's really about the other person and where they're at. Right. And so I think rejection offers us an opportunity to lean more into ourselves and recognize that to not take ownership of that rejection, but rather to recognize just that person isn't ready, or that person is in that space. And to continue to have yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Hi, Prativa. Good to see you. Yes, she said it's about them. Got that communicated. Exactly. So if you guys have some ideas or wisdom to share on managing expectations, definitely let us know. Share that in the comment section, because people do be reading these comments. Real talk. So the next I wanted to talk about, because so I had this conversation with I've had this conversation a few times when it comes to online dating and attraction. So this is why I think online dating has always felt really uncomfortable for me. And this has been something, as I've been exploring for myself, is that personally. So as a demisexual and pansexual person, so
explain that. I don't know.
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna. Yes, I will explain. So as a demisexual person, for me, it's that my attraction comes from an emotional connection. Mm-hmm. So that means I need to get to know somebody before I can really feel that attraction. I don't meet someone and be like, oh, I'm totally attracted to them, and it's like a feeling, and it's like a connection has to be there. It's not about chemistry. It's like an actual, I don't know how to, it's
connection.
Yeah, it is connection, but it's not just chemistry, because chemistry is it's like a connection. It has to be this connection. And so when it comes to online dating, it feels very surfacey. It feels very, you're just kind of engaging back and forth and texting, and so how's it going? And good, you, and it feels surfacey. And so that's really hard for me to feel connected. So it's really hard for me to want to engage in that space very often. I'm so much more a person that's I want to go out and meet someone. So I'll go to events or groups or get-togethers or gatherings or whatever. And so I just want to say that and bring that forward, because if you're a person out there who's I hate online dating, I never feel connected to it, that might be one of the reasons why. I was having a conversation of this about dating with a friend of mine who's also a demisexual. And so it was yes, that's this feeling. So That's one thing.
And it can be surfacey for
It
you
can
because you
be
have a
surfacey.
different way of connecting with people.
Right. Or
Like,
attraction.
attraction,
Yeah.
exactly. But for me, like, it can get like that.
Yeah.
Like, it can really get like that when I'm talking to guys.
Yeah.
But I'm the person who will ask the questions that they never been asked before.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they react to it, either they react in a good way or they don't. So it's really about being yourself and being so open for you, vulnerable for you, because you're wanting to connect with the person that's conscious. You want to connect with the person that's doing the work like you're doing, or self, improvement,
Right.
like we're all doing. So, and some people are not there yet, they're just superficial. They're very superficial. A lot of people are very superficial. And you can find out those things by asking the questions.
Asking the right questions.
And the way they answer, they tell you everything right there and then.
Yeah.
They do. So, and then,
I want to say they do, but like, Justinia, I also feel like, okay, so this is one thing, like as an empath, right? So when you're an empath, HSP, empath and HSP, this one, like you can perceive, like there's a way where you perceive and sense into things, but not everybody is like that. And there's a way, which I'm sorry, I've heard it enough times from people, of like getting in a relationship with someone who seems conscious, who says all the right things, who answers the questions, and beautiful. Especially, like, can I say to all my writers and poets and creatives out there, like there is some out there. That doesn't mean that they have done the work.
No,
it just means that they can speak eloquently. And if you're not paying attention, really,
you said that,
perceiving correctly, but I'm just saying that's what happens. You can totally because you can get bogged down and be like, I swear they presented themselves this way, and then like later down the road, it's like hit with a brick house.
Okay, but why are you saying these things right now?
Huh?
Why are you saying this right now?
Because I just had a conversation with.
I know, but why you yourself? Why are you saying this?
I've experienced this totally.
So the only way to really
But this wasn't through online dating.
No.
I know. But I'm just saying though, through online dating, it doesn't matter all the time.
It doesn't.
Someone can say all the right things.
Yes. So what is it worse, to connect with someone face to face and they still lie to you?
Both.
Or
me,
online.
Both.
Exactly.
Either way.
So the thing is, like, you can see, you have to go through that experience in order to really see what's the next person that coming into your life.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to blind yourself again. Come on.
Well, and if you do,
no.
You're growing. It's okay.
It's okay. But the thing is, like, you will be more awakened as to what you want in a relationship.
Right.
And like the relationships that you had experienced in the past are not just, you're not just going to get an erase it, and gone out of the window it goes. No, because it's an experience. You're going to have that experience in the back of your mind. I'm not saying it's going to hunt you in a way that you're not going to be afraid and scared to date again. No, I'm just saying, well, I know the red flags now. I know this happened to me, and I know this person talked to me in this way. But then his actions was different.
Right.
Or his actions was one thing, and then his words was another.
Right.
So it doesn't connect. So what I'm saying is, yes, if we're meant to go through something like hard, like we both did in relationships, in the past, is to learn. Is to learn more about yourself. Is to learn more as what are the right questions that you need to ask, and what is the number one person that comes into this? Is you, yourself, and you.
Right.
You're not going to lose yourself again. You are going to ask the questions. You are not going to be afraid of not asking, because what if he leaves me? Or what if she leaves me? Or what if
it makes them uncomfortable?
Yes.
Or what if it's too much? What if you come off as too much?
Exactly.
We're going to talk about that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm saying, for me, personally,
Yeah.
I went through that experience.
Yeah.
And it's why I'm awake, and it's why
Hello.
I'm like asking all these questions, because I am not going to fall for that relationship no more. Now, if I want a relationship, I will have it yesterday. But I don't want that I don't want relationships that are not they're not doing the work. They're not finding out about themselves. They're not, empowering themselves. They're not, learning about it. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So this is why either they like me, or I don't know if they hate me, but if they like me or they don't.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I'm not wasting my time no
No.
more. I'm not.
Yeah. So people ask, because this is a question I received, is, so how long do you do the online before you meet in person, right? And I would say there's not a perfect answer to that.
No.
It's really about what makes you feel secure in wanting to get to know someone.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I know, like, as a demisexual, like, I'll do the online thing, I'll have chats, but I know that I feel, or I can get a better sense of someone when I'm in person.
Yeah.
So I'm the type, I cannot do weeks on end talking online.
No.
Neither do you.
No.
But it's like, people do. Like, people will be on there for weeks talking online before, or letting the other person come with, like, oh, I'm so busy, I can't, like, walk away.
Yes, walk away.
Like, it's important to get to meet someone in person.
Like,
that's how people get catfished.
The most I will go is like 2 weeks, because I'm asking questions and I want to know their answers.
Yeah.
Now, there is times where I'm like, okay, can we meet so and so there? Are you available?
Yeah.
And then if they're like saying no, and then again no, and then again no, then I'm gonna say, you know what? I appreciate you talking to me respectfully, but I know you have a busy life, and I'm looking for someone that has time to get to know me as I'm getting to know him. Mm-hmm. So I am not wasting my time. Not.
I think it's important really to get, Brene Brown says, like, how you really get to know people is when you're close up. It's like that close up is important. And especially when we're talking about relationships. So, so many things that you talked about, but compromise. Let's talk about this, not compromising yourself. It's, when and feeding into this can be part of the being needy or being too much. So some of you might have, gotten or might carry this feeling of like, I'm too much, right? I'm too much, like, I don't want to be seen as needy or clingy or whatever. And that, I feel like that is a conditioning that we've received. That's like old paradigm. That's like old thinking. Because really it's about how you show up authentically. And when you're a really loving, connective person, like if your love language is touch and connection and quality time, right? And you're like, right? And you have that, it's like, then that's the kind of relationship you need to be in, right? And there's this fear of like, I don't want to be too clingy or too needy. There is no there is only what are your needs and are you communicating them?
Exactly.
Who are you? How do you do relationship? What's important to you to feel loved in a relationship, to be held in a relationship? Are you communicating that? Right?
Yeah.
That's not being to anything. That's being yourself. And that's looking for the relationship that you want. So if you find someone who is like, oh, you're too clingy or it's too much or the pressure or whatever, that's them, not you.
Yes.
And that means that is an incompatibility. It's an incompatibility. You want something that's compatible. Mm-hmm. So you don't feel like you're being clingy or you're being needy, because you're not. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between insecurity and actually what are your needs, right? And if there's an insecurity there, we talked about this, like, it's really important before you dive into a space. Like if you've gone through a divorce, if you've gone through a breakup, if you're going through depression, that's really not the best time to go diving into the dating pool, because you're going to start attracting from that level, right? Which is a lower level, which is coming from scarcity, which is only going to create, these opportunities that can, add to that. And that's not what you want. You really want to you want to know what you need and what you want and understand yourself as worthy and deserving of those things before you dive into that pool. So that the understanding what your needs are and being able to communicate them, to not be carrying this part in you that says, I don't want to be too much, to allow yourself the permission to ask for what you want and communicate that,
Because when you're saying, I don't want to be too much, then what are you doing to yourself?
Yeah.
You're invalidating who you are. So you have to validate the person that you are. And you're not being honest to that person. You're being honest to you, because you are the one that's going to be in a relationship or that is going to spend time. You don't get your time back, let me tell you. So if you want to have a good time and a time well spent with someone, you need to ask the questions. It doesn't matter if they feel whatever they feel, because it's about them. Just remember, a person can only give you what they have inside. That's what they can give you.
Yeah.
A person can only share, a person can only communicate, a person can only act or react to your questions the way they feel inside, because you're probably triggering something that they need to heal still inside themselves. And that's fine, that's okay, but you have to be ready for their answers if you're asking those questions.
Right.
Because sometimes the answers that you're expecting, that's why no expectations, are not going to be what you want. So it's really being open and honest for you, because you want the right fit for yourself, for your life, for you. And the only way to know is really by asking and by saying, a person that really is interested in you is not going to make you feel insecure. It's not going to make you feel like clingy. It's not going to make you feel that you're being needy. It's not going to make you feel any of those things. No.
Yeah.
So if that person is making you feel, and if you're in a relationship right now and that person is making you feel all that stuff, no.
As your friend, please walk away.
No, a person should not.
Yeah.
Your partner, your person should not make you feel that way.
Yeah. It should be about wholeness. Like, I'm learning so much about, let wholeness be your compass.
Yes.
Let wholeness be your navigator.
Yeah.
It's about you allowing yourself to be yourself and allowing and giving space for the other person to be themselves fully. Right. And you cannot fix, rescue, change, love someone into loving you back in a way that feels loving. It's like you can only see how someone shows up, and either that works for you or not. But what you have to first and foremost always do is have your own back. Like take care of yourself. So that's what I want to talk next about, is like, how do you caretake yourself through the process of dating? Because you can definitely have moments that feel hard, right? When you're going through the dating world, especially currently. And like,
gosh, if I can tell you,
like, and it's like, and how do you stay in that? And what, first and foremost, what I would say is, I'm not going to say some cliche thing like treat it like a game. No, it's not. It's not a
Nothing
game.
is a game, because that's wasting your time.
Yeah, it's real. But what I would say is, like, what are you doing in your life to bring yourself joy? Like, what are you doing? Hi, John.
Hi, John.
What are you doing for yourself? Like, how are you living your life for yourself? How are you cultivating joy and fulfillment from within for you? That's not tied to the idea of a relationship or some outcome, but rather just like who you are, your fulfillment, your happiness, and then allow dating to just be another thing that you do, right? So it's not the entirety of what you do, because that's the space you're going to for attention, validation, connection, right? Like, how are you connecting? How are you looking for connection in your life? How are you looking for connection with your friends, your family, the world around you? Your connection within, connect to nature. Like, what are you doing for that? What are you doing to find that joy and fulfillment for yourself? And then are you just adding like dating and it's online dating right now, or dating is just like one more thing, right, that you're doing to explore and get really curious about yourself and curious about other people, because really I feel like you're like in this place like a scientist right now. She's so curious. It's like, be really curious about exploring like where people like who's in front of you, or who are you talking to, or and getting to know people for who they are in the present moment, rather than some expectation or outcome or whatever else. What other ways do you care take?
So, like she said, first and foremost, I do not spend my life on that side. I don't.
You don't have a side life?
No. I have my life. How do I take care of myself? We go hiking.
Yeah.
I love to hike. Like last time that we went hiking was the most beautiful.
Mount Falcon.
Oh
so
my
nice.
God, so beautiful. We just lay down on rocks.
Yeah.
Like a bed. Just lay there and just see the whole beautiful Mother Nature that has, given us. So I do that. I also go dancing, because dancing, I love. Did I say I love?
Yeah.
I love to dance. I love to dance. So I go and dance. And I don't go and dance to find a guy that's going to be a relationship, because me personally, I'm not talking for everyone. Let me clear this out. Guys at nightclubs,
tell the truth.
All they are there for is to look for that hookup.
Tell the truth.
And then they drink until they can no more.
Yeah.
I cannot. I no. So if I go dancing, either I dance with my friends on the dance floor, and yes, there is some guys, that ask me out to dance, and I make sure he's not like he's present and he's not drunk. I'm sorry to say this. Well, no, I'm not sorry. He better not be drunk, because if he's drunk, then I cannot dance. How can you dance with a person that is already intoxicated?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
So I go and dance, and she's my witness. I get on that dance floor.
She don't stop.
I don't stop, because for me, it's a way of, like I said, I think I said it before, it's a way of meditation. It's like I just let myself go, and I connect with whatever my higher dancing partner that is in me.
Right.
And I just dance.
Right.
So I do that. What else do I do? It's like there's times that I'm home and I turn everything off and I just stay in silence for probably an hour and just lay there or write on my journal, all these things and thoughts that sometimes come up and that I'm still, working on that.
Yeah.
So I write it down and I face
Journaling
it.
is great.
Journaling is amazing. It's a way of venting. Mm-hmm. So it really helps your soul.
Mm-hmm.
I do that. What else do I do? I buy myself flowers. Now I do that. Where I used to wait for someone to buy me flowers, but no more. I buy myself flowers. And I love to see those colorful flowers in my room, in my kitchen, and in my living room. So and then I do take care of my grandbabies. My grandbabies bring me so much joy.
Yes, she's your grandma.
And
Papa was like, what?
And I don't know, I cannot describe whoever is grandmas and grandparents, you know what I'm talking about, is the most beautiful, amazing feeling ever. I can't. I don't know. I'm just, yeah.
It's adorable.
It's just amazing. So I do different things for myself, to show myself that I love Yesenia.
Give yourself a reprieve and a break. Like schedule out time. Like I'm gonna go on to dating. I'm gonna go on like an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. And like that's the time. Like don't make this isn't a job. I feel like that some like there if we could talk about like some of the worst advice ever given around dating, one of them is like treat it like a job. It's not.
Oh my God, who said that?
I've heard that. I've heard that said, like treat it like a job. Please don't treat it like a job. My God,
No.
please. Let it be like on the lowest scale
Yeah.
of things and priorities to do, because
Yeah.
you're living your life so wonderfully
Yeah.
that like dating is the last thing that you even
You know
think
what?
about, but you do it because you're
Yeah.
curious, because what you want is genuine connection.
At this point, I want to create my online dating app.
Right? I feel like it, but I feel like that's why there's like so like honestly, we're just talking about online dating. There's all sorts of things that you can do, right? Like you can go to groups, you can go to meet out, you can do speed dating,
But
you can
it's
do online
hard
dating,
now.
you can go through dating services. So like I feel like those matchmaking services or dating services are more because they really get to know you, they really get to know the people who are in there, and like they're helping to create that match.
Mhm.
And that I've actually heard, I've had 3 friends.
Which match?
Huh?
Match.com?
Like no. It's not like an online, it's like an actual service.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So there is actual people that are actually
Yeah.
looking for your partner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've heard of
There is a
3
show.
people, 3 friends who have actually gone through that. And
There is a show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
I
yeah,
seen
there's
a
a
show,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean I think it's just more pricier, but you know,
It
if you're
is
really
pricey.
if you're like, I'm really in it, you know, and that feels like something that really calls to you, like check out one of those
What
yeah,
is it called?
services. I don't even know. There's a few here in Colorado, but I don't know the names of
What?
them. I don't look into stuff like that. I'm very extroverted, so I go out and do things. So I don't know. I don't feel the need to do that. But if somebody really wants to, you know, like I think that's something, you know, to have an actual advocate who's helping you look for love, a little Cupid angel helping you. Yeah, but like caretake your time, right?
Yeah,
like one of the things is caretaking your time. Okay, I want to talk about these red flags. Okay, that I have listed here. Dating red flags. Okay. So when it comes to online dating, things that you should watch out for are profiles that only have one picture, don't have much context.
They have glasses on.
They have glasses on,
Hats.
hats. You
They
can't
don't
really
show
see their
themselves.
exactly. If they're shirtless in most of
God. Left.
they only want one thing, ladies. And if you want that one thing too, and that's all that matters, go ahead and click like. Let's go ahead and swipe
There
right.
is everything for everyone.
For everyone, you know.
That's just not
Just
for me.
saying, I wouldn't be careful. But you know, look for profiles on, like, do they have pictures with friends or like things that they do,
Yeah, they
or
have pictures of
hobbies that they
friends.
do?
I've seen, hiking and stuff like that.
Be careful of making a connection, because this actually happened to a friend of mine who was got in a conversation, and they sent her a link, and you know, like, there are phishing scams out there. They're very real. So you know, be mindful of that stuff. Location, age, preferences, like.
Yeah, be careful with the locations. Don't go where they tell you to go.
Yeah.
Always go where you're saying you're going to be.
Right. And tell someone, please. Where you're going. Just let someone know. So that way people know that you're safe. And how, like, the fact that we live in a world where, like, please tell someone so they know that you're safe. I mean, I don't know how they did it in the old days, but
they didn't do that in the old days.
They didn't. No, that's what I'm saying.
Face to face.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like that. We live in this world today where it's
I miss where guys will give you like a letter here.
Right, like real courting, right?
I love all the. Oh my gosh, I miss that.
Yeah.
Like, they will call you and like.
Although
they won't even text you. They will call you and be like,
"Yeah,
hey,
I love a phone call.
I would like to go out with you, so and so. Are you up to go out with them?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's go out."
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what happened to phone calls. Phone calls are nice. Everyone's like just texting all the time.
And being after the person, and
Yeah.
what happened to all
What
that?
happened? Yeah. And
So sad.
I don't, technology is probably what happened.
Yeah, it killed it all. It made it so easy.
Be careful with offline chats. Like, oh, would you like to take this to an offline room? No, thank you.
No, thank you.
And and I say always be cautious with your phone number. Like, really make sure that you get to know a person before you give them your phone number and start connecting that way.
Yeah, once you give your phone number to that person and whatever you're texting off of the site, they're not able to trace it.
Right.
And they're not responsible anymore.
Right.
They're only responsible if you're talking to the person through that dating app.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think Zoom dates are pretty cool. Like,
yeah, they have Zoom dates.
Because you can really get to know. And I don't know, there's something convenient about getting to know someone, like having another layer of like getting to know someone before like the effort of like getting like dressed and going out somewhere.
Just dress from here out.
So Zoom dates are nice, and that's a good way to like also, I feel like, quickly see if somebody's like real or not, like a real person. Love bombing.
Can I go to sleep?
Huge eye roll.
Oh, my eyes hurt just to do that.
Oh, love bombing in all its ways. I mean, it feels wonderful, but be very cautious. Like, be forewarned that love bombing is a tactic.
When it's hard to believe, it is hard to believe.
They're coming on strong from the beginning. Please have caution. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I really did know someone that got totally caught up in, building a relationship with someone who then started to ask for money because like they had this problem or that problem, and it was really just like using that person for money. And so I just say that because if you're out there and honest, to speak very candidly, that happens if you're going into dating feeling very desperate for a relationship. Mm-hmm. Like if you're feeling very in need, then you're throwing away caution and you're not looking out for yourself. That's why it's really important, I think, to get into dating when you actually feel like solid in yourself. You got your own back. You're fulfilled in your life. You got joy in your life, and dating is just it's one more thing to like play in this field of, right? Rather than it being the entirety of everything, because wonderful, loving, good-hearted people get caught and swept up in these things it happens all the time. And so really, like, here's what I'm gonna say. When it comes to dating, it's about reciprocity and mutuality. You should be receiving and getting as much as you give. So if it's a one-way street and you're giving in any way, shape, or form more than the other, that's a red flag. So don't, if somebody's asking for money or sob stories or bank account information, please run away from that. Meet in person. We talked about that. Don't overly invest yourself in new people. You can get dating and everything's great for the first little bit and you're fully emotionally invested. Like, make sure that somebody is worthy of your emotional world. Like, before you start sharing, deep, intimate things about yourself, like, please allow time for a person to show that they are trustworthy, and emotionally available and can do emotional intimacy well before you start sharing some of the deeper, emotional spaces of you, because that is a really good way to be manipulated. people get emotionally manipulated. I've been there before. You don't want that to happen. So, you take your time. Take your time in getting to know someone, and ensure that, people are trustworthy.
Yeah. When she says, if you're getting as much as you're giving, then that's a good sign. But you can tell. I mean, you can tell on the way they respond. You're sending all this stuff, like a whole paragraph about yourself and what you like, don't like, and then the other person answers, "Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, what about you?" So when they respond like that, it's like they're just looking for something easy.
Yeah.
They're not willing to put the time and the effort in getting to know the other person.
Yeah.
So when that happens, it's okay.
Yeah.
Be like, "Oh, well, thank you for your time. Have a good life, and I wish you can find what you're looking for, because obviously it's not me."
Right. And be willing to say what you. So like this is I've also seen people who like they'll have a conversation, and like right from the get-go they're just like, this person is like this, and it's like, well, have you asked them? Did you ask another exploratory question? Did you communicate to them how you like communication, right? Because people can have different ways of communicating, right? And maybe somebody is not that comfortable with texting, or right. And so if you can say, hey, I noticed that you don't don't text very much, but this isn't enough for me to get to know you. I communicate this way. I would really like to have a deeper communication or whatever, and give them the opportunity to show up rather than making first judgments about someone. Give people the opportunity first to see. I think that's a really good way to see if somebody is willing and open, is because as you communicate and they're willing to meet you in that place, that's really good. One of the last things I think we should talk about is like armoring up. I love this term, armoring up. I've learned it from my mentor Taylor, who talks about it all the time, the ways we armor, and the ways we mask. So I would explore the ways that you armor up in the process of dating, right? Like, what are you truly open? Are you truly open to getting to know someone? Are you curious? Are you really willing to explore? Or are there walls that you're carrying? Is there a way that you're armoring up? Are you not allowing yourself to show up authentically? I think all of that stuff's really important. So I personally had the experience, and I've had conversations about, go out there, you're dating, and you meet someone having a really good connection, and then like I've had this whole conversation in the online dating sphere, and then after talking for a while and then like coming to get together, and then they just were not actually really ready to date. And that's fine, but it's like, why are you on a dating app looking for relationships? Like, if you are just looking for friendships and connection, I think it's really important to put that, like, this is where I'm at, and be really honest about where you're at, because it's fine if that's what you're looking for. Hey, I'm just looking for a hookup. I'm looking to have, like casual, right? But if what you're looking for is a relationship, then really investigate, are you really doing that because that's what you want? Or is it coming from a place of that's attention seeking, or that's place where you need constant connection or contact in order, because it's coming from a place of value? Like, am I valuable and worthy enough? Am I attractive enough? Am I right? That's coming from all of those insecurities. And I think it's really important to clear those things out, because going into those spaces when you're feeling incomplete in some way is it doesn't honor you. Like, it's not honoring of you, who you are, the fact that you are lovable, and
You deserve to be
loving and
loved.
deserving to be loved,
Yeah.
right? Are you going into that space knowing that? Are you going into that space because what you feel is opposite of that, and you're just like trying to find something to make you feel that way? And
To
that,
feel that emptiness that you're feeling here, right?
yeah,
Sometimes we go for that we just want to find the one person that is going to make us feel what we don't give ourselves.
right. Yeah. So what are the armors? What are the ways that you armor up? What are the ways you mask? Like maybe it's constantly, if you're a person who's flaunting your body or using your body constantly, right? Like here's pictures of me looking so hot.
The filters.
Yeah, the filters. Like, are you showing up authentically, right? That's a way that we can mask and armor. Are you on the guard all the time? Like, are you looking at everything to find that piece of something that's like, nope, or are you really open to exploring? Because the reality is people are complicated, relationships are messy, but it's all about how much you allow yourself authenticity, and also holds the space for another person to show up whole, as well as holding people accountable in how they show up as their full selves.
Create that safe space where that person can be open to you too, because
Yeah.
when you're holding up walls,
Yes.
when you're being, you're blocking, they can feel that energy too. They can feel, well, this person is like, I don't think she doesn't
hard
trust
to get.
She's just playing it. She's just not
always
there.
making yourself busy.
Yeah, and not there, or playing games where like, if he texts me, I'll text him.
Yeah.
But if he's taking 30 minutes, okay, then I'll take 30 minutes too when he texts me.
Right.
All these little games. And
yes, let go of the games.
No need for games. Either it is or it's not.
Yeah.
It's simple like that. You can feel it. You can feel it. They can feel you. We are two different worlds.
Yeah.
Man, girl, whatever relationship you're into and that you're looking for is two different mindsets. Two different people coming together to see if there is any connection.
Yeah.
And anything that will be compatible to each other.
Yeah. So the permission to show up authentically, and that also is in how you express yourself. Like people agonize so much over building their profiles, and I get it because I used to be there. Now I just speak authentically and let it be good enough. It's like just be yourself and let that be enough. There's no. It's like I feel like people treat dating like it's like LinkedIn, and like you're trying to get a job or something, so like you need to have this perfect profile that's written in this way, or you're like trying to figure. It's like it's over. People overwork stuff too much. Like, just be yourself, and I can appreciate that there are some dating apps out there right now that don't ask for like long profiles. You can put in a lot of pictures, you can answer questions, or share your likes or the things you're into, right? But I'm one of those people who I like to read someone's profile. Yeah. I look for people who are similar to me, who write about themselves and comes from a heartfelt place. That's what I like to read. So I just say, however you are and however you vibe, that's what you need to put out there. And if dating is something that you're like, I'm open to, I'm curious about it, don't judge it. It's just another avenue, right? There's no right or wrong way, but like allow yourself to check it out. Just, be curious about it and have fun. Like, I really want to say, like, it's not a game, and allow yourself to be playful in the space. Mm-hmm. It's really about playing in the space, having curiosity. Yeah.
Just be yourself.
Just be
Show up
yourself.
as who you are and don't hide yourself anymore. Just say what you want in a relationship, and the only way to have people to connect to you is to the truth self of yourself,
Yeah.
to the true person that you are. So when you're honest with yourself, then you're gonna find honesty on the other side. It might take long, but
Right. And the reality
what you
is,
want.
it's, it should take long.
Yeah.
It should, because you are a unique, special being.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna vibe with that. Matter of fact, it's gonna be a very unique person that's gonna vibe with you.
That's gonna see you.
It's gonna see you for you, love you for you, be with you for you, right? Like, so be like, rather than, because there's a lot of disappointment that I've heard, because we have a mutual friend, that, well, I have a few of them who talk often about, like, like, you want it, it's like, God, what's taking you so long? Like, it's like, you are a unique being. It should take long. Please let it take a while to find that special someone, because you are not commodity. You are not like everyone else. You are not, right? It's like, you're a special, unique being. So it's going to take some time to connect with that special, unique being. So in the interim, just make sure that you are taking care of your special and unique being. That's the most that you can do. Have yourself.
Yeah, take care of yourself, love yourself, know yourself. Know yourself. That way you know what you want for you. Make a list, like we talked before. When you buy a car, what is it that you're looking for your car, right? Same thing for your partner, for the person that you want to attract.
Like a car.
What is it that you want? It's like when you buy a car, the make, model, year, miles,
right? I mean,
color, interior, exterior, everything.
Yeah. And honestly, when I make a list, my list is all about feeling. So it's like how it feels, like what I sense of that person, how I feel in that relationship, how I want to feel, things that we're doing. Like, it's very much from a feeling point than it is like specifications.
Me is everything.
It has some specifications, but I really do think that's about the feeling of the thing. So yeah, make a list, but really it's about feeling into it, and allow that to be your guide. Allow wholeness to be your compass.
Connect with your higher self so it can guide you.
Your intuition. Yeah, and your intuition will guide you.
Yeah.
But just know that everything you go through for a reason. It's all there to teach you something about yourself. True. So whether it works out or not, every person who comes up in front of you is a mirror in some way, shape, or form to show you something about yourself. So be curious. Mm-hmm. Be curious. Even with a person that, if you're a person who got ghosted, don't look at the fact that you were ghosted or make a judgment about that person. Really, think, okay, what is this a mirror of? What was present that is trying to show something to me? I had this conversation. I had a Reiki session recently, and we were doing, some exploring around heart. She asked me some really deep, thoughtful, insightful questions. And when I sat there, I realized oh man, there's some stuff here that I need to see. There's some blocks there. So there's some ways where I'm maybe not so open, right? There's some, there's some guardedness here that I'm still treading with, right? All of that is just information to help you, inform you on how can I be more open? Am I really loving myself whole? Am I showing up in the space whole, right?
Am I really seeing what's coming up?
Yeah.
Am I really facing, and feeling every feeling? Because online dating can really trigger you, trigger a lot of emotions.
Yeah, if you're too close to it.
Mm-hmm.
So just allow it to be just an added thing to all of the other awesome things that you're doing. Don't allow it to be the source for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Be safe, love yourself,
Yes. Take care of
and
yourselves.
take care.
Take care of that beautiful heart of yours.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.